Aloha. This is Steph with Turtle Flow. Welcome to my channel. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. This is, let me see. Oh, this is Yogi Tea Time, episode 22. And I'll be talking about imposter syndrome, especially as an empath. So, happy Thursday. Happy February. And today I'm drinking Moroccan mint tea. That's also mixed with a blend of Moroccan mint and green tea from Trader Joe's. As always, these are not sponsored, but feel free to let me know in the comments or in the chat what coffee or tea you're drinking and what you're looking forward to for February. We just had our Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year on February 1st. And then yesterday was that 222 portal energy, February 2nd. And I love the synchronicity of having the Yogi Tea Time episode for this month to be episode 22. So we're in sync with that 222 energy. 222. So I hope you're doing well. And if you're new to this channel, definitely take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this with anyone that might be able to use the information, that might benefit from this information. So I've been really working on finding ways to level up my videos on this channel, the lives on this channel. So I have a new setup. So right now I have to look down here to read the comments or change my screen. So bear with me if I keep looking down, but the video quality should be much better. So I'm really excited to try this out and see, if it makes a big difference. So I'll try to keep this short as usual. So we are in this, as I've been mentioning, this 222 energy. It's going to challenge you to look at good and bad, the dualities of things, but at the same time, or you might get confused and conflicted. So there's battle between the ego thoughts and your higher self, the voice of your higher self. So the more we do these practices, the meditation, the breath work, getting still and quiet, taking some time to re-energize. And as an empath, you also want to clear out emotions that you take on from others, as well as the energy that you take on from the collective or people around you that you get very empathetic towards. So that's one of the big things. And with this Chinese New Year, with the Year of the Tiger, it's time to make that stride towards new beginnings, new career especially. So let me know either in the live chat or in the comments whether you are making a change in your career. So um, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And so we're in this new era, new energy, and we started January with a lot of retrogrades, which makes you more, it's also a great opportunity to be very introspective and review and tune in to really get guided, which is why I did that yoga nidra, aligning you to the North Star. So you can be guided by your higher self, the North Star energy, towards your purpose, your soul's purpose and passion. But oftentimes, even when we get those guides, we get resistance due to imposter syndrome of not, and that gets tied into not feeling good enough. So not feeling good enough. So when you get over this imposter syndrome, it's also tied to perfectionism and not being good enough. So once you clear out those thoughts and really get guided by your purpose and divine inspiration from your higher self through these mindful practices and getting quiet, because these messages are often more heard in a whisper, and then your ego voice is heard louder. And it's that imposter syndrome of not feeling good enough, or you feel like you're a fraud. So it's beyond not being good enough. It's that feeling of being fraud. And when that happens, it's going to prevent you from taking that inspired action, that first step towards your new goal or new dream, especially when we make these big, sudden career changes, which a lot of us had to do, or just change the way we work. So it's really important to be fluid and adaptable, go with the changes. But in order to do that, you have to feel confident in yourself. And the more clear you get with your soul's purpose, that bigger reason to serve, that's one step of getting over the imposter syndrome, is focusing on that bigger clarity on your bigger mission. When you get clear on that bigger mission, guided by your higher self to be of service. And we are all gifted and unique. So we all have our DNA imprints that are very unique to each of us. There's nobody else that's like you here. So even if you feel like someone else has done what you want to do or what you want to talk about, even if it's the same topic you're covering or same teachings or services you're offering, each person does things differently. You have your own color, you have your own soul imprints that's going to resonate with the people that you are meant to serve. So same information, when it's told differently in different ways, people learn differently, and they also understand with different expressions. So just know that owning your uniqueness is a next key. Your uniqueness. That nobody can express or teach or offer the services or make a product that you would make. And that of the 7 billion people on earth, there's someone that's going to need that. So that's a lesson that was also very hard for me to learn. And initially, when you're doing, for example, when I did my teacher training, we were taught that initially you imitate, so you want to find mentors that you really resonate with, so that initially you're just gonna sound like a parrot, kind of reciting, learning how to say cues the way that your mentor does. So you kind of try to mimic that and imitate initially, but it has to kind of sound like something that resonates with you at the heart level. So you feel that conviction and truth when you speak it. Otherwise, it doesn't sound authentic and it does come across really fake. And then once you keep practicing and showing up and with more experience, then eventually you get to innovate and really put your own voice and develop your own voice, your own style, and bring your own personality into it. So initially, it's going to take some time to master, and it's about just showing up and sharing from your experience, from your heart, and people are going to genuinely feel your sincerity and that desire to serve. And every time I come on to these lives, every time I post a video or make a video on this channel, or when I show up to serve in person, it's I always bless everybody before I go into the room or before I show up to present anything, so that everyone that watches or comes to my class, they can all be blessed to receive the information that would benefit for their highest good. Um, and for me, I'm pretty much shifting by letting go of most of my in-person classes at various studios, and that's to honor my energy level, but I will slowly add on in-person classes as things settle more and when we're not required to wear a mask. And that honors my energy level, so I don't have to drive around so much, because the way I've been driving around LA teaching like 15, 10 classes a week, I've calculated during this quarantine time, when you sit back and start to evaluate things, I got to calculate the hours that I drive around each week just to teach, sitting in traffic or just going from one area to the other. And it turned out to be about 30 hours. So to me, that's not really serving me or the people that I'm serving. So I'm just going to teach few classes that's close by that really resonate with me and aligns with where I want to go. And Reiki, it really works well virtually. So I'm going to keep doing the virtual class, private sessions over Zoom that I'm offering through my mentor, Kelsey. And, in the modern times, being spiritual, we don't have to wear, sometimes like when we have this imposter syndrome, we feel like we gotta wear certain clothes to look the part. And in case of being a Reiki master, you feel like you have to wear this flowy white thing, looking like a guru to show up. But, one of the things that attracted to my own mentor was the fact that she was just herself. And she just showed up in her jeans and regular modern clothing, but hip. So, but she had a very powerful healing abilities, and I could feel it. So I really want to model after that. And I'm here to serve in a more authentically and to just reach the mainstream of the modern society so that we're not so distanced as if I'm some guru shaman type. But I'm not knocking that. Some days it's nice to like really make it special and ceremonial and wear that. So sometimes I might do that, but it all depends on the setting, the time, and just tuning into what would really serve. Um, so that's another unique, just owning that uniqueness, having that clarity of your purpose and your mission. So when you keep focusing on that, something that's bigger than you, to really show up and serve from your heart, then it helps you to just let go of the fear, and it helps you to just show up and give your best. And also knowing that you just teach what you know now. So this goes for anything. Wherever skill level you're at, it's going to be useful at some level. So just starting where you are and starting before you think you're ready. So that's another way to get over your imposter syndromes. And when you show up and feel like you're a fraud, sometimes it's because you're trying to reach the level that's way above, thinking you have to be the master of whatever subject that you're serving, whether it's a product, drawing, music. But when you just start where you are, start sharing at the level that you are at, over time, you'll keep improving, and you're always serving people who are ready to hear what you have to share at that time. And there's always going to be someone that knows more than you, that have more experience. And then there's always going to be people who are one step behind you. And so when you just show up at the level you're teaching, you're inspiring others to also start and put into action what they want to do instead of just letting perfectionism hold them back. And so you just show up and teach what you know from the genuine experience. So there are a lot of like spiritual teachers out there nowadays that just read some books and regurgitate inspirational quotes, and they think they're teachers, and I'm not being judgmental, but there are people who are really good at acting. People wanted to be actors and actresses that couldn't make it, so they just this might be kind of a controversial, but they want to be famous, so they just become a yoga teacher or a spiritual teacher, thinking that's the easier path. And some of these people can be very inspirational because they're trained actors, so they can read some books and start regurgitating like all these inspirational, motivational speeches and quotes that other people wrote. And sometimes they don't even quote them. So when you use these other people's quotes or your mentor's quotes, you always want to also credit them for it and show respect by just kind of quoting your sources. Just like when you write a book or write a paper, you always write bibliography. So because of my design background, to me that's really important, so that when you present quotes that other people have written, that you don't just regurgitate and act like it's your own. Um, and then there are some quotes that so many people say you don't. It's hard to even say who the source is. That are very common. So then, if that's the case, just one example is emotion is energy in motion. So I hear that from so many different people. So I haven't gone enough to really see who actually wrote that originally, but most people just say that term without quoting anyone. So something like that you can kind of get by, but at the same time, you want to make sure that whoever is presenting information, especially teaching, that they actually live it. It's not just about regurgitating and showing up and being motivational through acting, but that they really live that on their daily lives. And it kind of emanates in your energy. So it's really important that you keep up with your own practices and genuinely show up from the level that you're at, honestly, with integrity, and from your heart, sharing sincerely with the genuine intention to serve and help people. So when you do that, people can feel that, and it will show up, very genuine, and you won't come across like a fraud, or you won't be an imposter. Um, Another thing that can throw you off, especially as an empath, is feeling, you can like feel what other people are feeling. So, like if you're on stage presenting and you look at the first row or second row down the crowd, sometimes you can kind of tune in, and the energy of all these people, like what they're thinking and feeling, you can pick up, and that can get very overwhelming, and then it can stunt you to kind of to freeze like a deer with the headlight on. So when learning to block that and just think that everybody, so when you bless, just keep sending that love and blessing, that each person, whether they're thinking negative about you or positively towards you, that they get blessed and really get something out of what you're teaching. So again, it's a mindset to refocus on your mission, on your purpose that's bigger than you. So it always kind of comes back to that. That's the most helpful thing. And then I have a story that I'm going to share and then wrap this up. If you have any questions or have any shares, please feel free to comment in the comments or in the chat. Or if you have a new goal, change of career, you can also share what your previous career is and what you're changing to in this 2022. And we're in this strong portal of 222, starting from January 22nd to February 22nd. And then it got amplified as of yesterday, 2-2. So between this 2-2 to February 2nd through February 22nd is even a stronger time of portal to really be supported to make these changes and go forward. So I'm just going to share a funny story related to, I'm going to change it back to this, related to, it's like the reverse of the imposter syndrome. I went to go teach a restorative class at this Kundalini yoga studio that had just opened in Santa Monica that my friend was teaching at. So if you're not familiar with Kundalini yoga, a lot of Sikh people of the Sikh religion background, they're usually avid practitioners of Kundalini yoga. And then the whole style of Kundalini yoga that are not Sikh, they also wear all this white and wear a head wrap because to preserve the energy from escaping from the crown chakra. So Kundalini energy yoga is based on very set kriyas, and it really works at the subtle body. And I mentored with Kia Miller, who is a Kundalini teacher, but she was also a Yoga Works mentor. So I did my 300 hours with Kia Miller. So during my training, I got a little bit of Kundalini, but unless you're a Kundalini certified yoga teacher, most of the times you wouldn't be teaching at a Kundalini yoga studio. So this was an all Kundalini yoga studio. That was in Santa Monica. And it was their grand opening week. And even though I'm not a Kundalini yoga teacher, because my friend was teaching a more restorative Kundalini yoga, and she needed a substitute teacher that day, but they couldn't find a Kundalini yoga teacher who also taught a more restorative style. So then she got the approval from the studio manager to have me come in and teach the class as just a restorative teacher, which is a style of yoga that's for relaxing, that supports your nervous system and releases tension. So it's a lot of holds with a lot of props. And I have one video where I have a sample of restorative from a long time ago that I posted. But one of these days, I'll be probably doing a restorative yoga video. So if you really want to experience restorative yoga and would like me to create that video, let me know in the comments. So I go there to teach the restorative class. And because I do have some knowledge of Kundalini yoga from my training, I get little bits of it. So I wouldn't be able to teach a Kundalini yoga, but I know enough that some practices from the Kundalini tradition that you can kind of incorporate into the Vinyasa yoga or other yoga forms. I've learned those few things from my mentor, Kia Miller, during my Yoga Works 300-hour training. So I know the chant that you're supposed to do before you start any class at Kundalini Yoga, which is Om Namo Gurudev Namo, which is just honoring the teacher before you and the teacher within you so that you can bring the best teaching forward for what the student needs. And I just like I was mentioning before, they all wear white. And even though I wasn't required to dress up like that, I just wanted to honor the tradition of Kundalini yoga. So I tried to wear all white. And, I like to wear white, but I always get something on me where it's hard to keep the white really white over washes. So I don't really have that many white clothing, even though I love the look of the white. So I wore white and then I tried to cover my head also. And I didn't know how to tie it up. And I had this beige kind of rayon-y, kind of rayon texture or chiffon fabric scarf, and I tried to wrap it around my head. So I did the chant at the beginning, and then I had my head wrapped, dressed all in white, and going there, I really went there with the sincerity of just honoring the tradition the best way I knew. So I didn't feel like an imposter going in. So this is the opposite of what an imposter syndrome would be. So I go in, and then there were about 4 people there because it was very new, and they were offering the grand opening packages. So then I look down, and there's 4 people, and it turns out that all those people that came, they were from the salon next door with the introduction. They just came with the introductory 1-week pass. So they were very new to Kundalini yoga. So I still went ahead and did the chant. So I was chanting by myself. Usually the student chants with you because they didn't know the chant, and and then during with the restorative class, you have to lie down. There's a lot of position where you're lying down on a bolster and just relaxing into the bolster. So after I demo the pose, as a teacher, you have to get up to help the students. So I had to do a lot of lying down and coming back up, lying down and coming back up after each pose. So by the third pose, my head wrap just kind of fell off. So I didn't know, because I didn't know how to wrap it that well. So then I was laughing inside so hard. I wanted to laugh out loud so badly, but I held it in and I was just laughing inside at myself. And as soon as it was over, I felt like I was in a sitcom, like a comedy sitcom. And then I felt like a total imposter afterwards. So that was just really funny. And it really ties into the fact that, even like after I got the Reiki master, I don't really feel like I have to dress up in a certain way to look like a spiritual teacher, energy healer, and that my mentor doesn't dress like that, which is what really attracted to me to her, as well as the fact that her abilities are really amazing. So I really resonated with her and wanted the attunement from her, to take me to the next level. And I'm very honored to be part of her Magic Vibe tribe and offer the services of Reiki through her group. Um, but and then when I was talking to the students after that restorative class, they thought I was like a Sikh or something, and we were laughing so hard with the students after. So I just thought that was like the funniest story of all the moments. Like a lot of times it's so easy to feel like a fraud as an empath, especially because you feel like everyone's looking at you and you feel this energy from people. And it's human nature to just hone in on people that don't like you. So that's another thing, then it totally throws you off. So it's just learning to really ground into the earth and learning how to block off those energies. So what you want to do is the more you tune inwards, connect to your higher self, connect to your mission, your higher purpose that's bigger than you. It gives you the courage and clarity to move forward and take that action instead of holding you back from showing up. And from there, you want to really expand your energy of that blessing and love outwards from deep within your heart. And when you expand that energy out, there's law of entrainment. You're just infusing positivity so that energy that's the strongest, everyone entrains to it. So then you're affecting the whole room to that high vibration with you. And the more you can just focus on expanding out, expanding your energy, the positive energy to flow, the love frequency to flow out, blessings to flow out from deep within you, the more you can entrain and be that lighthouse. So there's an amazing quote I just read that says, the lighthouse does not chase around. It just stands in one place, just shining brightly. So just allow yourself to shine bright. This is the time to do it. And if you need support, write in the comments for some extra Reiki support. And you're also welcome to book a one-on-one session with me through the link in the description, the virtual Reiki through Super Healing. And another last final point I wanted to share is that I started this year, January, with an amazing book written by a friend and a teacher that I used to teach at Den Meditation with, Ben Decker. And he did a book club on his new book, The Modern Spirituality. And it was really amazing how it ties all the various religious views and metaphysics and spirituality into how you can apply it into the modern world, of how you align with unity consciousness. And there's a lot of exercises, journal prompts that helps you to really tune into your purpose, to really feel that we're all one. So when you get rid of that feeling of separation and connect to that unity consciousness, which I'm going to write here. Unity consciousness. And that also gets you out of that imposter syndrome. And he also covers that in the book as well. So please let me know. I hope I didn't have any connection issues because I'm having some icon that just showed up. Yeah, so that was a really amazing book to read, and it was an amazing group to connect with for the book club, which just ended on Monday, this Monday. So that's a book that I really recommend. I'm gonna write it here. Modern Spirituality by Ben Becker. So it comes out an audiobook, print, hard print, as well as ebook versions. And it's definitely a book I recommend for this new era of spirituality we're living in. And just creating that sense of oneness, unity consciousness. And so hopefully that helped you. If you have any questions or any thoughts you would like to share, please share in the comments. Again, be sure to like and share the link with anyone who might find this information useful. And please be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And if you're OCD, normally I just came as I was with my hair today. So if you're OCD, the side bun might have bugged you. You want it to be like straight at the center, which I'm kind of OCD. So if that was the case, my apologies. My apologies. So I hope you have a wonderful 222 portal. I'll also be creating a yoga nidra that aligns you to 222 energy. So be on the lookout for that. So be sure to subscribe so when that video gets posted, you'll be notified. And I'll have that sometime this end of this sometime next week or this weekend. So have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, wherever you're tuning in from. And thank you so much for all the new subscribers. Welcome to the Turtle Flow Soul Fam, Turtle Flow Tribe. And go within and find your inner sparkle. Aloha. Namaste.